This video is for my mom for Mother's Day, and I just felt like I wanted to do something. I wanted to do something creative for you, and I was gonna draw a picture or something, but I don't. I didn't. I couldn't really find one that I felt communicated, the message that I wanted to send for you. And I mean, um, being that I'm now, 20 years old. I'm turning 21 next month. I just wanted to give you um, something that really meant something, from after being raised by you, basically, as now what I would consider an adult, kind of, although I'm still kind of a kid. Uh, um, so yeah, I just wanted to let you know how much that I appreciate you, and how much, I know it doesn't get said often enough to you, and I know that sometimes you feel underappreciated because we all laugh and joke and everything, and that's the way that our family is. But really, I mean, I have so much respect for you. There's one thing I can think of when I think about you. It's how much respect I have. After no matter what anybody could ever say about you, and that people said stuff about you as a mother to us. I mean, I always thought you were amazing, um, because you always gave me love, and I never felt like you were away because I felt like I had such a strong emotional connection with you. And you know growing up, like, we didn't have a lot, and that was hard for me, as I'm sure it's hard for any kid. But I just I knew, because you told us, we're not rich with money, but we're rich with love. And I didn't understand that then, but now I understand what that meant and how important that was to my upbringing. And I don't know how Jackie feels about it or how Nikki feels about it, but I now understand how important that was, and the love that you gave us, how much that meant to us as, growing people. And so much of who I am comes from you. I mean, my determination to stand up for what's right and what I feel, to stick up for what I know and stick up for myself and not let anybody push me around. That all comes from you. And if I had let myself be, torn down by other influences, uh, you know, I don't. If I didn't have you, I don't know what I would have done. Um, when I was, coming out, and I don't know why I did it, because I was only 14. It was kind of crazy, but I felt I was really sick, all week, and I stayed home from school, and I was in bed all day. And one day, for some reason, I just thought I should email Carl, who was directly above me, and just told him that I was gay. And um, I remember in the email I kept writing, please don't hit me, please don't hurt me, because I didn't know what he would do, because I didn't, after I moved with him, I think you'll remember when I was living with you and Pete, I used to always tell you guys, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, all the time, right? I used to always say it, and like, we'd just be driving, and I'd be sitting in the back seat, and every 5 seconds, I would just tell you how much I loved you. And when I moved in with Carl, I stopped saying that because I didn't know him. I mean, I really didn't know him. I had previously seen him, once every year or something, something ridiculous like that. He wasn't a father to me, and he never was. Even when I was living with him, he wasn't a father to me. Um, and I just didn't feel that way about him because I didn't know him. I moved in with him because he had the internet, and I wanted the internet. And it seems so stupid now, but it actually did help me grow in some ways. But I just, you know, I had to stop saying that because I didn't feel that way, and I didn't have that. And Crystal was wonderful to me, and she gave me, so much to work with. She gave me, like, she gave me, a lot of appreciation, and she really was a good, substitute for a mother figure. And she was wonderful to me, and I always appreciate the things that she did for me. But, as, my actual parent in the house, Carl didn't provide for me what I was getting with you, because you have always given me unconditional love. And as we know now, his love is, conditional. And I just, when I came out and, Carl was coming into my room, several times every day just for 10 minutes to come and yell at me about how I'm useless and how I'm I'm a disappointment, and I'm a waste, and I'm going to get AIDS, and I'm going to die. Those are the kind of things that you don't say to your child. Those are the kind of things that you shouldn't no child should have to hear from their parent. And I'm lucky that he didn't hit me, because I know that he abused you, and that's why I honestly felt like he would have just killed me or something, or he would have hit me. At least he would have abused me. And I'm lucky that he didn't, because I know how volatile he can be, and I know that he abused you so extensively, and I was so scared of that. But when I came out, and I got a phone call from you, and I've been talking to Nikki and Jackie about it on the internet and stuff, and I got a phone call from you, and you just told me, I love you no matter what. And that to me was so important, because of what I was going through with Carl at that time. And I felt like I had no way out. And he kept telling me that I was going to end up killing myself, and I was going to be a statistic or something. And I told him that the only reason I would ever do something like that, the only reason I would ever harm myself, is because of him, because he was the only one who was making me feel like I was worthless. And throughout all that, the thing that got me through it was talking to you and hearing you tell me that you'll always love me no matter what, and knowing that I'll always have you to depend on. And even more recently, you've shown me how much you support me and how I can depend on you no matter what. No matter what situation arises, you're always there for me. And we may not always be together, but you're always there to talk to me. You're always there to support me. And I have endless appreciation for that. And just hearing you say those words was so important to me, and it really got me through the whole experience. And then, I mean, when I was forced basically to move out, I really didn't want to accept it at first. I was planning on going back home to Toronto at the end of the summer and just telling him to kiss my ass, because I had made a life there and I had friends. But what was more important than that was living with somebody that actually loved me. And he didn't love me, and he I don't think that he loves me. Um, you know, living with someone that actually loved me, and and Nikki as well was so much more supportive to me than Carl was. So living with you was so much more important than continuing my school career and continuing with my friends in Toronto, even though I cared so much about them. Um, it just wasn't worth it to stay in a home where I was being, verbally abused every single day. And it was a nightmare for me. It was absolutely horrific. And, Crystal could only do so much. And they were having, screaming matches almost every day. And that was hard for me too. And, I felt like it was because of me. And I had to leave that situation. And you made me feel so much better just being around you, because you're such a great person. I mean, you're so funny, and you're so likable, and you're so, I mean, I feel like I get so many traits from you, um, and maybe that's why I like you so much as a person. And we never argue, and um, I don't know. I just appreciate you so much, and throughout my whole life, you've been such a driving force and inspiration to me, and I just wanted to let you know that. And yeah, happy Mother's Day.